Good day everyone. Welcome to Learn with MN. In this video, we will discuss how to export your artwork in different formats using Inkscape. Exporting is done through the Export dialog. To open, go to the File menu, and select Export. You can also use the shortcut key Shift-Ctrl-E, or simply click this Export icon in the command bar. This opens the Export panel here. The Export panel has two tabs. Single file exports one file at a time, and Batch Export exports multiple files simultaneously. To explain these, I've created these 4 pages. Let's start with Single File Export. In Single File Export, there are 4 main export options. Document exports everything in the document, whether it's inside or outside the page boundaries. It ignores the page edges entirely. For example, on page 1, some parts of the design are outside the page, but they'll still be included in the export. You can preview the final result here in the preview window. Page is used to export all pages in the document. Page exports only the content within the page boundaries, and cut off anything outside. It lists all pages with their names here to let you choose which single page you want to export. This will only export one page at a time. Selection exports only the selected objects. If nothing is selected, this tab will be disabled. For example, if I select these objects, the Selection tab becomes active, and now I can export these selected objects. All selected objects will be exported as a single drawing. You can also preview the export result here in the preview window. Custom lets you export a custom rectangular area by manually specifying its position and size. You can set the left, top, right, and bottom values to define its position, and width and height to set its size. Normally, it picks up the values of the last selected area for export, and shows its preview here. Let's suppose I want a block of this pattern of size 120 by 60 millimeters. One way is that I could manually type the dimensions for size and adjust the position. But here's an easier way. Temporarily draw a rectangle of 120 by 60 millimeters, and go to the Selection tab. Place it at the desired place, and then switch back to the Custom tab. Custom tab will automatically picks up the rectangle's position and size. Once happy with the preview, delete the rectangle as it won't affect the export values, unless you select another object and export your drawing. Another advantage of the Custom tab is adding margins. For example, if I select this object, and export it using Selection, it will have no margins. But with Custom, I can add margins on all 4 sides by adjusting the left, top, right, and bottom values. You can also adjust the values using width and height as they are linked. Below you'll find settings for width, height, and DPI. These options are available for each tab. Here you can adjust the width and height of the export image in pixels or its quality in DPI by typing a custom value. Adjusting one value automatically adjusts the others, maintaining the aspect ratio. DPI stands for dots per inch, which refers to the number of ink droplets a printer will produce per inch while printing an image. The more dots of ink per inch the image has, the more detail you will see when printed. It is useful if your document units are inches or millimeters, and you don't know how big your image should be in pixels. In printing, most printers require a 300 dpi image for a good quality print. Export Selected Only option will export only those objects that are selected. When enabled, it ensures that only selected objects are exported, excluding anything else, even if it's within the selection area. For example, if I select only the branches and leaves of this tree, it will also export the fruits as well, as they are within the selection area. But if I enable this option, it will exclude the fruits from the export. The background color option lets you set a custom background color for your drawing. By default, it's set to 0% opacity, allowing you to export transparent PNGs. Once your settings are ready, select the desired export format from this dropdown. The default is PNG, which supports transparency. Other formats include SVG, PDF, JPEG, TIFF, and WebP. Each format comes with its own set of options, which you can adjust here by clicking this button. Next is the export directory. This is where your file will be saved. Click this Browse button if you want to change it to another location. If it's okay, then set the name for your image, and click Export and your image will be exported to the mentioned directory. For example, I want to export this tree without background with a DPI of 150. For this, I'll select it first, go to Selection tab and set the DPI to 150. Name it as Tree, choose PNG as format, and click Export. The image is now saved with the specified settings. Now, let's move on to the Batch Export tab. The Selection tab here lets you export multiple selected objects at once, each as a separate file. This tab will be disabled if nothing is selected. If I select some of these objects, this tab will be enabled, and now I can export the selected object using this tab. After selecting objects, they'll appear here with their respective names given in the Layers and Objects panel. If you want to exclude any object, simply uncheck it. Preview will show and hide the preview of selected objects. Overwrite existing files, if checked, will overwrite the files that already existed with the same name, without giving any warning. In the suffix, you can type any desired name that will be followed by the object's name when it's saved. You can also leave it empty. Next, you will select the format for your object's file and last is DPI, which is used to set the quality of an image. Using the Add Export option, you can add another export in the queue with different settings. For example, I want to export these objects both as PNG and JPEG. For this, I will add another export. For first, let's say I set the suffix to PNG, then format to PNG, and DPI to 96. For the next export, let's say the suffix is JPG, the format to JPEG, and the DPI to 150. In prefix, you can set the first name for each image that will be followed by the object name, and then the suffix if given. Let's say I name it an icon. Then check for the export directory path or click this Browse Directory button to change it to another location where you want to save your images. When all is done, click the Export button. Wait for it to perform all exports. When done, let's see the images where we exported them. You can see here, all 8 images are saved as separate files for our PNG and for our JPEG. If you notice their name, the first is prefix, that is icon, the second is the object name, and the third is the suffix that is PNG for PNG files, and JPG for JPEG files. That's how Batch Export allows you to export multiple designs in multiple formats with just one click in Inkscape. Next is the Layers tab. It is used to export each layer as a separate file. In this document, I have only 2 layers named Layer 1 and Layer 2. Last is Pages. It is used to export each page as a separate file. Each page is displayed here with its name. If you want to exclude any page from export, you can uncheck it here. Using the same method we used in the Selection tab, you can export each layer using the Layers tab, and each page using the Page tab in different formats at a time with one click. This will save each layer or page as a single file in your desired format. That was all for this video. If you have any queries, feel free to write in the comments section or contact us on our website. Its link is in the description. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thank you for watching.